Good day, everybody. It is Calxiyn here, and thank you for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court today, where we have gathered to watch this Miraculous Ladybug episode. It is Season 4, Episode 16. We will do my reaction highlights, and then we will discuss, analyze, and theorize about this episode, and I'm really excited for this one. I'm glad to be getting back into it. You guys may have noticed I had to, delay this a little bit, just because, I have school now, and so I can only record on the weekend, and they've been coming out on Tuesday, which is, not conducive to putting these out as quickly as possible, so I apologize. But in the future, it's probably going to be about a week after the episode first airs that I post my reaction and my discussion, unless they release on a weekend, right? Unless they start to release on Saturday. But I believe the next one is on Tuesday. It may even be today, depending on when you are seeing this, or yesterday or tomorrow, because there is another one coming very soon as I am trying to post this. But anyway, that out of the way, remember that you should subscribe to get those notifications so you will know when I post a Miraculous Ladybug video of any kind. You should join the Discord server if you want to talk with us. We have a general chat, a theorizing chat, and a shipping chat just for Miraculous Ladybug, so you should totally join that. But otherwise, just leave a comment down below. Let's have a little conversation about this episode. Thank you to all the patrons and YouTube membership members who support the channel. And without further ado, let us just get into it. Ooh, where are they going? Where are we going? Oh no! Oh, they're going to London? Oh, damn, it's getting worse. Oh. Oh, so they're visiting an aunt. Okay. Oh, damn. Oh. But that's not why. It's because she doesn't want to leave the city, right? Damn, Tom is not letting her get out of it. Oh no. Ooh, really? Oh, okay. Wow, they're conspiring. Can he not hear you? Okay. He's gonna try it again. Oh my god, though. We're getting right into it, though. There's no emotional, bad thing that happened. He just made, a virus. You know what I'm saying? He's just oh, okay, he's just scheming and he's executed the plan. It's only been 3 minutes. We're already getting a bad guy. It's only been 3 minutes. Oh, look at Julika and Rose. It's so cute. Oh, all the couples. Wait, well, Marinette's supposed to be with them, but... Oh, damn. Oh, it's her sister. Oh. Oh. Well, that's nice. Well. Wait, what? She's gonna just give everything to Alya? Wait, what? Okay, well, okay. Oh, okay. Well, oh my god, okay. Oh man, Alya's can I handle the pressure? Oh, well that's nice. Tiki's trying to tell her that she's ready. See, I guess that this plays into Nino's thing in Rocketeer. Oh. Oh man, tip 33, she's just making a guidebook for Alya. Don't click on that. Oh my god, is this a virus? Prevention episode, you know what I mean? Is this supposed to teach kids about internet safety? Don't click weird things, sis. Oh yeah, see? Because he's still expecting Ladybug to call on them. Oh, see? Because this plays into how she was lying to Nino all the time and he got sad. Oh, it's too bad this episode didn't come out before the other one. Yeah, see? Because Alya lied more, and that's what happened in Rocketeer, which was 17. Yeah, so now he won't rebel. I get it. Right, okay. That's not good. Oh, see? So he's basically holding him hostage. No! Okay, Alya, do not answer the phone! No! Do not pick up the phone, Alya! Yeah, throw that shit away! There we go! Oh my god! She's on 675! Oh, Marinette! Oh, did you guys literally break the train? Ah, damn. Yeah, the lack of internet safety, sis. Don't answer. Oh, both of the parents think that Marinette's most precious to them. I mean, obviously, she's their, child, but oh my god, are we gonna see that? Oh my god, we're seeing the transformation. This is so cool. Oh, I like Alya's, headband. Ooh, oh my god. She has a cool outfit. I actually like this. It's not so different, but it's, a little different. Oh my gosh. Damn. See, Trix is, pissed. Trix is, it feels like she's being replaced. Oh, I like that. Oh, okay. Not Lady Luck? Damn. Cat Noir's just bro. Damn. Oh, no, she gave it to me. Oh, that's not good. Oh, no, see? And this was important for Cat Noir's development. No, oh, no. Oh, man, and she used Lucky Charm already. Oh. Damn. Look at Cat Noir in the back. He's just mad, bro. Damn. See? Adrian's pissed. Okay, well, hopefully by the end they'll learn to get along with each other. Jeez. Well, it do be like that sometimes. No, it's a trap! Alya! Oh, damn! Oh, no, Alya! Oh, dear. Yeah, clearly it's a trap. Yeah, that's no good. Oh, well, that's good. At least Alya can grow and admit she was wrong. Uh-oh. Whoa. Is that true? Oh, wait, what if they're not all statues? What if they're people? Oh, gosh. See, look! No! Oh, my God. Damn! Hawkmoth's like, oh, it's my lucky day! No. Maybe now would be a good time for Lucky Charm. I don't know. A frying pan. Oh, Alya. Oh, look at Cat Noir motivating her, though. That's nice. Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. I like that. Oh. Whoa. So she's threatening. Oh, see? She wants to free Marinette. See, Hawkmoth thinks he's smarter than a computer. Well, Marinette's there, so that's fine. Oh, okay, well. Oh, see, but Cat Noir's not gonna see Marinette, is he? Oh, man, they just missed each other. Oh, that's so cute, Alya. But now Marinette will go back home, and Cat Noir will never know how the plan worked. Oh, that's nice. Look at how they got along. Oh, well, that's nice. And another plan fails again. See? Oh, that's not good. That's probably why they've been falling apart. Oh. 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 everybody, let us get into this discussion now. There are a couple things that I would like to touch on, specifically the Cat Noir stuff. Obviously, I feel like that is something that has been leading up all season, like his feelings, his anger, his sadness. I feel like that's going to be important to touch on. I feel like we should talk about the parents. Also, obviously, Alya. All of that is kind of self-explanatory, but I kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of where we're like going with this one specifically, especially because like some of these things have already been shown because of Rocketeer and Wishmaker and stuff like that. Like Nino, like if this episode released before Rocketeer, I could be like, guys, this is foreshadowing to Nino getting mad at Alya, but like that already happened, so we already know that. And so I'm trying to focus on the things that I guess we don't know and can still speculate on, of course. So let's talk about Marinette's parents first. I feel like that this has been an ongoing theme with the entire season. Like I've said this basically from the very beginning, that eventually they both will get akumatized, especially just because like at the very beginning of the show, I was like, well, her friends got akumatized, like Gang of Secrets, Alya got akumatized, Luca got akumatized, like really everyone close to Marinette is getting akumatized this season. So I feel like that the parents are basically next. Like it makes the most sense because everyone who has gotten akumatized within Marinette's like circle, if you want to call it that, it has been because she has kept like a secret from them in terms of like Gang of Secrets. And again, to bring up like hiding stuff from Alya, hiding stuff from Luca. So I feel like the parents will also fall into the hiding stuff from front, of course. And so I feel like that this is a very good like indication of like what will come, right? Because the dad is already kind of suspicious of her, like that she's just making excuses. And obviously he thinks it's because of like, you know, this family, I guess, trip that they're taking, right? Like he's like suspicious on that front. But what's important here is that none of Marinette's excuses are working anymore on him. He won't accept any of them. So this could very well mean that in the future, you know, he does not believe her again. Like when she starts to make excuses and lies, like he realizes that she is lying again, right? Because he thinks it's because, oh, you don't want to go to your aunt's house, you know, I know she's insufferable, but we have to go, right? And so it seems like that they are basically catching on to Marinette's behavior, but that could come back later when there's another situation where she's trying to get out of something because she has to go be Ladybug and the parents are like, what? Like, why are you trying to get out of this, right? And they start to, I don't know, put her under a bit more scrutiny than usual, because I feel like that she has made excuses that have just like worked out a lot of the time, you know what I mean? Like she says that she's late or that she forgot something and they kind of just let it go, but now they're not letting it go. So I feel like that's going to be very important in the future, and I feel like that may cause Marinette to rebel a bit harder than she has like in the past. And basically what will happen is like, say that she has to go, I don't know, it's their wedding anniversary. Let's just pretend it's the wedding anniversary of the parents, and like Marinette's supposed to be there at the party for them to like renew their vows or something. It's their 20th wedding anniversary, everybody's showing up, and then Marinette starts to make excuses and it really like emotionally hurts them because like this is their wedding anniversary, of course they want their daughter there, right? And that's like the fallout of them being akumatized. Like, be honest with us, Marinette, we know that it's not this and that, you know, like I could see something like that happening in the future for sure. And I think that what else is important here is like Marinette not only says like none of my excuses are working anymore, but she also says something else. Oh, it's actually Tom who says that. We are a family and we face life's catastrophes together. I actually think that could be foreshadowing to both of them finding out, because I feel like that this is going to reach a point where they can no longer basically they can't take it anymore, and Marinette can't lie to them anymore. Does that make sense? You know, so I feel like that it'll come to a point where she has lied to her parents so much that there's like this breaking point, and then she has to tell them. And so they will find out, I guess, next. Not next, like not like, you know, after Luca, it'll directly be them finding out, but like soon, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Soon they will find out. And this could be foreshadowing to that, right? Because it's like, I feel like that the end result of that will be like, well, Marinette, like we support you in being Ladybug, right? We will face, you know, the catastrophe together. Like that will be the message. Because I feel like the reason why she's afraid to tell her parents at the moment is, yes, because obviously like that's just a danger, especially if they get akumatized, they could tell Hawkmoth. But then there's also this idea that I had a while ago, like what if a parent finds out that the child is a superhero and doesn't want them to be, and is like, you should be focusing on school, or like it's too dangerous, I won't let you. Like that's a very popular like superhero trope type thing, and so I feel like that's very plausible, is that Marinette is afraid that the reaction from her parents will be basically like, how do you say it, forbidding her from being Ladybug anymore. But instead, their reaction could be, you know, embracive, you know, like all a big hug and we'll face this catastrophe together type of thing. And so I think that them embracing her identity as Ladybug after some sort of conflict is like entirely possible, and I would like to see it. And along with that, we also have to keep in mind the fact that if they get akumatized, they will have an anti-akumatization charm. And so as long as they keep that charm on them, everything will pretty much be okay. So she could be able to tell them because they won't be in danger of telling Hawkmoth. Does that make any sense? Like, I feel like that if they get akumatized and they both get charms, they are basically like not a risk to let in on the secret anymore, or at least not as much as previously, right? And so I feel like that's, you know, that's something that could be considered, because she told Alya, and Alya doesn't have a charm, but Luca knows, and Luca has a charm, and so Luca is technically like safer than Alya, so the parents would also be safer than Alya with that same like logic, you know what I mean? So another point that I'd like to touch on today is Hawkmoth right here. I think that it's kind of interesting that his plans are like technically getting smarter. Like, it didn't work. Obviously, it's not gonna work for a long time, you know what I mean? That would end the show, but like this plan was very smart, I'll give him that, and I feel like that things are getting better. Like, Hawkmoth is getting smarter, and so I thought that this plan was like very fascinating, you know? So basically he makes this virus in order to infect Markov so he cannot resist for the akumatization. So he makes this virus sentient monster to infect him, and then uses the opportunity of infection in order to basically akumatize him too. So I like also how they're using both the sentient monsters and then the Akuma. Like, I feel like that was just very, very smart. I don't have a lot to say about this scene except for the fact that I think that Rose and Julica are very cute together. Then we also have all the other couples together, and I actually would like to bring up, now that I mention it, it's kind of interesting that the most important thing to Mark, he said it was their manga that they were working together, but Nathaniel also got sucked in. And actually, I wonder if that's gonna be important later, and I will get to this, but remember when Marinette, like, is in that room and she like hits Markov on the back of the head, like with the frying pan and everything, and that's how she basically like goes on to defeat him, like in that scene, because she is one of the precious objects that have been released, and that's Alya's like big brain, galaxy brain plan. Well, Nathaniel was there, right? So what's interesting about that is that Cat Noir had this pot over his head, a very convenient, plot convenient pot, if you will, right? And he had that pot over his eyes, and so he couldn't see Marinette was the one that like whacked Markov, right? But like Nathaniel was there, and he was kind of in the corner, like he was like this, like he was on the floor looking away. But like, imagine if like the big thing is like Nathaniel saw Marinette do that, and like when he gets his miraculous, that'll be, I don't know, that'll be relevant somehow. I'm not saying Nathaniel's gonna find out her identity, but that could be important for something, I don't know. But on that front, Mark thinking that Nathaniel is part of the precious thing to him may be a hint towards some shipping things. But then you also have to wonder, in the case of the other couples, why, like Julica, for example, it wasn't Rose, etc., etc. But they're also in teenage relationships, so I think it's fair if Julica has something that maybe she, you know, is more precious to her than Rose, in a sense, you know what I mean? I found it kind of strange, actually, that Marinette's parents, their most prized possession was Marinette, and I wonder if they'll change the phrasing in English, because they do say in the translation, like, Alya says, like, their favorite things or something. Like, Markov is commanding everyone to bring their, like, favorite things, but it's kind of questionable to think of your child as a possession, and so that's where I was kind of like, what? Like, you know what I mean? But I think that's just the translation, because this episode originally aired in a different language, obviously, and so it could just mean bring me the most precious, like what is most precious to you, not necessarily possession. But that's something that the translation used a couple times, and I was like, your child is not a possession, okay? But anyway, I think it wasn't that serious. I think it just meant what is most precious to you in your life, and that's not necessarily a thing. That could also be a person, right? And so not a lot to say about this scene. I just kind of found it funny how Markov was like rotating through like 10 different things, the multitasking acting is on point. I mean, he's a computer. It makes sense, right? So again, I'm not going to go through this very much because we've already seen the fallout of this, but I think it's interesting to see the foreshadowing, I guess, in hindsight, of Alya lying to Nino more. And this isn't the only time it happens. It also happens after she gets the Miraculous from Marinette. So first she lies to him here, and then she lies to him again. And so it definitely makes sense why in Rocketeer, Nino is like the utmost suspicious, because this episode preceded it basically. And I think that's always something cool to see that like foreshadowing, right? And so then the mom is like, Marinette, you're not trying to escape, are you? Right? And so this is kind of interesting. I know my sister is a little hard to get along with, and then she says, but I survived my whole childhood with her. I wonder if we'll ever see this sister, like this aunt of Marinette. Like, we've met a lot of the, the extended family. We've met her uncle, her grandparents, I think, like all of her grandparents on both sides of the family at this point. And so I think it would be interesting for them to basically introduce like the sister of the mom, especially because like there could be parallels drawn between characters such as Emily and her sister, obviously Gabriel's wife, her twin sister, who is Felix's mom, right? So that's sort of what I'm thinking about. I'm just thinking about like there could be parallels drawn between this aunt. I can't remember what they call her or how to pronounce her name exactly, but yes, Marinette's mom's sister could be a parallel to Emily's sister, right? Adrian's mom's sister, right? That would be kind of cool if there was a parallel. Like, it's, again, like Marinette's mom's sister, Adrian's mom's sister, right? Like, there could be something going on with that. Who knows? So this is where Marinette makes the shocking decision to give the Miraculous to Alya. But I feel like that this was very good because they are wrapping up the Alya plot line, if that makes sense. Or at least I thought that they were, right? So it seems like that this is like kind of the last step, if that makes sense. Like, the first step was telling Alya all of the times Alya has been present in the episodes, and like this and then Rocketeer, they're kind of like the last pieces, like Alya resolving that she won't lie to Nino, that they'll still be honest with each other, all of those types of things, right? Like, I feel like that Alya's arc, I guess, is coming to a conclusion, and part of that conclusion had to be acting as Ladybug for one day, because I think that like a lot of people probably have criticism of this episode. I haven't seen it because like I literally just reacted to it, right? I haven't seen anybody's opinion. I try not to let other people's opinions influence mine, so I like to do my discussion before I go and read things, but I'm sure people were like, oh, they're making Alya too much of a main character, like now she's taking like Marinette's spot in this episode. But I feel like that, first of all, it shakes up the formula, which we could always, do something with that. That's always nice. But I feel like that it's also just a case of like they're closing off Alya's arc, and after that arc comes to the close, like it's not going to be a regular thing. You know what I mean? Like, they're doing it in order to progress through her storyline and have it come to a close, in a sense. I do think, though, that it is possible that the finale may have Alya acting as Ladybug again. Like, I feel like this isn't the last time she's acting as Ladybug. I'm just trying to convey the fact that I think that her character arc, like, the arc that she's had this season, it's not going to be this permanent thing where it's the Alya show all of a sudden. They're just sort of, like, going through it, and eventually it'll, like, close. But I really like this decision because it shows how much Marinette has really grown to like open up to other people and trust them, right? And so hopefully no one breaks her trust, because that could be, a prime time for Marinette to get akumatized. But that's sort of what I'm thinking. Like, I'm thinking of a situation kind of like the reverse of what I said in the case of Adrian. I don't know if y'all remember this, but a couple months ago I made this theory, and it was like Adrian will like fall out of love with Ladybug. Here's why, and we were basically talking about like all of the, Adrian emotional moments that he has had so far and everything. I think that that was mostly based off of Rocketeer. I think that that was the last one I had seen, and then I made the theory, right? And so I had this idea that like Adrian could be in danger of getting akumatized, but like after all of this, he doesn't know where to go. Nino has like rejected his Cat Noir side and everything, so he doesn't want to go to Nino. And so basically like everybody in Adrian's life has rejected his Cat Noir side or his clown side. And so in this dire moment, he runs to Marinette's house and gives her the Cat Miraculous, and that's how the one-sided reveal basically happens. Like, one half of the reveal happens that way. And that was sort of my idea for maybe how this season will end, in a sense that they'll refocus back on Adrien, because Adrien has been getting a lot of attention too. See, like, people say that Cat Noir is being shafted this season, but he's actually going through a pretty substantial character arc. Like, so much so that I'm basically making a new standalone video, almost like every like 3 episodes, about how his character arc has progressed and everything, right? And like theories about like where it's going. I feel like that people like think that screen time is the same as presence, and that's not true. Like, just because Cat Noir hasn't had, I guess, as much screen time as Alya, let's say, it doesn't mean that it's like he isn't present to the same degree. You know what I mean? It's like quantity over quality, I guess. Wait, no, yeah, like quality over quantity, right? And so it's kind of like that sort of thing. Like, people think that the quantity of who is present is the same as the quality of like what that character goes through while they are present. And just because Alya has been present more doesn't mean that Cat Noir being present less has impacted his arc, because I think like part of his arc is not being as involved anymore, and that's what's propelling his character and his character arc, right? And so I guess another way to say that is it's like, you know, the substance of it. It's like, even though Cat Noir is getting a different role this season, part of that different role has been filled with a lot of substance, like less screen time, but more substance in the screen time that he does have. At least that would be my argument, right? Why are we talking about this? Oh, right. Okay. So I think the reason why we're talking about this is because what I was going to say is, imagine if my idea with Adrien running to Marinette's house happens, but in the reverse, where she is going to be akumatized for some reason, and so she runs to Alya and gives Alya the Ladybug earrings, and then turns into Princess Justice, which was, I guess, foreshadowed in season 3, right? And then the one-sided reveal will happen with Cat Noir finally knowing Ladybug's identity, but it only, I guess, going that far. You know, they both don't reveal to each other, but Cat Noir is working with Scarabella again, right? And he finds out that Ladybug is Princess Justice, and Princess Justice is also Marinette. You know what I mean? Like, something like that could maybe happen. I don't know if that's like too fanficky or not, but I feel like that there's definitely room for Marinette to get akumatized and for Alya to have to like take the reins in the future. I think that at least is for certain. When it'll happen, that's another story, of course, right? So anyway, I really liked this, actually. I liked how the earrings camouflaged to match Alya's color scheme. I know that that's like a little thing, but I really liked that. And I also think it's funny how Trix had like a lot of jealousy here, right? Like, she was like, oh, as if my help was useless to save Paris. Like, why do you need Tiki? Like, I thought that I was enough, right? Like, even the Kwamis are getting, you know, a little angry. They think that they're being replaced a little bit too, you know what I mean? And so I thought that that was sort of interesting. And then Alya is like, wait, I can't be Ladybug. And Trix is like, yeah, see? Right? It's almost like she wants Alya to fail, so Alya will keep being Rita Rouge. Ladybug is Marinette. I need a different name. And so I kind of like the running gag with Alya trying out all these different names, especially because some of them are, I guess, plays on the other superheroes that already are there, you know what I mean? Like Lady Luck and stuff. And then like even Scarbella to an extent is kind of like Pig Bella, which I think is what they went for Rose's superhero name. So I like she tried out a bunch of them, and like some of them, like the Superbug reminds me of like Mr. Bug, which is what Adrien said when he had the Ladybug Miraculous temporarily and everything. So I just like how like the names that are being chosen are kind of references to the other superhero names that already like exist. Like, she's just like, like I'll think of like, you know, I'll take like that formula or maybe that formula. I don't know. But anyways, and this is where Trix says everything needs to be a secret. Take your job seriously and don't mess things up. I think that that's Trix, at least, because that's a bit of a harsher tone, because Tiki is just like, listen, if Marinette chose you, she knew what she was doing, basically. Like, that is Tiki's mindset. Trix is just like really salty in this episode. But what I was going to say is I definitely think that plays into Rocketeer and all the stuff that happened in that episode, obviously, with Alya deciding to be honest with Nino instead of hiding stuff from him, right? Because at first I feel like that, you know, she had that sort of like, oh yeah, like everything needs to be secret, and Trix like kind of hammered that home, right? And they kind of talk about this later, and actually I guess we'll get to that right now, right? Is that she said something to Nino here. I kind of like her little like patrol thing. She's like, anyone feeling any negative emotions? But we don't need to talk about that too much, right? And so yeah, she's lying to Nino, obviously. I do like Rose's little like pose in the background, just looking at Juleka lovingly. We love to see it. But yes, and so I love how she's checking on everyone. She's like, negative emotions, right? She's on her little patrol here. But what I want to get to is that line with Nino right here. But before that, because apparently that was not all in one scene like I thought it was funny to see Marinette making like an itemized list of like tips as Ladybug. When Cat Noir makes a joke, try to laugh, even if it's not funny, it makes him happy. And so I kind of liked that because it's like, aw, she is considerate of his feelings. That's kind of sweet. You know, I thought that that was kind of nice. And so yeah, the parents are just, again, arguing about like the staying with the aunt and stuff. That was like kind of funny. Like it was just a little comedic scene between them and everything. Tip 34. So I love how they cut back to Marinette doing that, and then she ends up at like 600. Oh, that was so funny. Meanwhile, we do have another look at the Senti monster for this episode, and so he's basically explaining it works like a computer virus, and I wonder if this is kind of like, in a roundabout way, like a PSA for internet safety. It's like Miraculous Ladybug said, don't click on suspicious links. Don't answer suspicious phone calls, right? And so I thought that that was kind of funny. But anyway, and so then Markov gets hacked, which, you know, he clicks on this like little cat thing that he shouldn't have clicked on. But I do want to get again back to that dialogue with Alya, because all this other stuff, it's not that it's not important, but it's like, it's not that important, you know what I'm saying? And so if anyone gets akumatized, Ladybug will know what to do. It's better if we stick together, right? So again, this kind of dialogue is almost not foreshadowing per se, but we can see where they planted the seeds for Rocketeer, right? And even with Otagami, didn't the same thing happen? Like she left Nino alone, and so we kind of see that it keeps happening. It happened at that time, it happened this time, and then all the stuff in Rocketeer goes down. And so I like how they like continued with that trend, I guess, leading up to Alya finally being honest with him and everything like that. And at this point too, Alya can't be Rena Rouge anymore, but she hasn't told Nino that, because that's a revelation from Rocketeer, I believe, right? And so then she's like, I have a horrible headache. Like, help me get my lemon oil to relieve it, right? And so I'm like, I don't know about those essential oils, Alya, but anyways. And so yeah, then Nino basically goes like to get it from the drugstore. I mean, if it's at a drugstore, I guess it's legit, but I just, when she said lemon ointment, I'm like, don't use that, guys. Just get a Tylenol or whatever. Get an Advil, like, you know what I mean? Don't take essential oils. But yeah. And so Nino basically runs off in order to go get that for her because he genuinely believes her. And see, this is what Tiki says, or sorry, not Tiki. This is what Trix says a little snarkily. This is what I wanted to get at, right? Congrats, it's been 10 minutes that you're super bug and you're already a super liar to your boyfriend, right? And so obviously this is foreshadowing to next episode. Alya keeps lying to him and the only way to repair their relationship is to finally be honest. So I thought that it would have been nice if this episode actually came out when it was supposed to, because there's a lot of like foreshadowing for the future. Like it's kind of sad that they came out of order, because now we see, oh look, there's a cool thing they did anyways, because we already know like the end result of it. And so that's unfortunate, but that's what she says, like, oh, it comes with the job, Trix, but like what if it doesn't have to? And I feel like that's what Alya is trying to showcase ultimately, right? And so then we just akumatize Robustus again. Wait a minute! Robustus didn't get an anti-akumatization charm. Wait, yeah, because Alya doesn't have that power up, right? And so does that mean that he's gonna get akumatized again? I don't like that. I don't know what to make of that, because like obviously Alya doesn't have that power, and so now like, I mean, I don't know, I guess Robustus was already kind of resistant though, because like he is a computer compared to the different you know, compared to different characters and stuff, and so I doubt Hawkmoth will try like the virus thing again, but like I don't know, man, like that could be a hint to the fact that we're not really done with Robustus yet. So what I found interesting about this scene, right, is usually how things go is that Hawkmoth basically goes like, hey, like such and such, I'll make your dreams come true, but you gotta get me the cat and the ladybug miraculous. And that person is just like, okay, but this was a forced akumatization, right? And so in this scene, Markov is actually like, nah, I hate you, and he is sort of trapped into negative emotion against his will because of the virus, right? But instead of being like, oh, Markov, I'll make your dreams come true, because Markov was never angry in the first place. Obviously, this is forced. It's actually like, Hawkmoth uses like bargaining. He's like, well, I'm the only one that can end your suffering. Like, he basically holds him hostage and tells him to go get like the miraculous, right? Like, you know what I mean? He basically like does that, and I think that's kind of like fucked up. You know, I think that's actually kind of smart too, because it breaks that sort of formula of, I made your wish come true, so like, you know, go get the miraculouses for me. It's like, I am holding you against your will, so you know what I want to release you. So that's kind of different, like that. You know, that sort of bargaining, or that sort of, again, like hostage holding is a little different than like, you know, the usual akumatizations in the show, obviously. Because again, it was forced. Markov doesn't want to feel negative emotions. He doesn't even have like a reason for getting akumatized. It was just because of this virus, right? And so now he's like, well, you know, because of the virus, I have no choice but to like participate in this, or else I will be in like constant pain, which I think is, you know, again, kind of fucked up, kind of dark, but I kind of like that twist on this episode. Yeah, so again, in this scene, he says that, oh yes, it's the manga, but I wonder if that's just kind of like the cover story, you know what I mean? Like for different countries that don't, you know, that, like would cut that sort of content out of the show, because it shows like an LGBT relationship. Like, I feel like that the underlying implication, like, sure, Mark, it's the manga. Like, I feel like that it's Nathaniel. Like, I feel like that there's definitely a ship going on with the both of them. But anyways, I really liked Alya chucking her phone battery. I think that that was pretty smart. But then also, she never got like the list. Right, when you say Miraculous Ladybug, don't forget to throw the lucky charm. I'll have to actually check and make sure. No, she did that because she said, oh, I always wanted to do this, right? And so what's interesting about this is, like, I would love it if they released, like, a guidebook that had all 675 tips. Because I know that this is probably just a gag, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a joke that they made for the show. But there are some things like Death Note, for example. Like, if you buy, like, a licensed Death Note, like from like, you know, official Death Note, like from the manga or anime people. I don't know how to explain this. You know what I mean? Like, if you go to wherever they like sell the officially licensed ones, you can actually read all the rules of the Death Note, and some of the rules are not explained in the anime. I think maybe all of them are in the manga. But, you know, that's just sort of what it reminded me of. Like, imagine if you had a guidebook that said all the other tips that we didn't see. Like, I thought that that would be, you know, kind of cool. Or maybe it lists all of Marinette's excuses, like every excuse she could use for a possible situation. It'd be interesting to have something like that. I always like stuff like that. Like, when they sell stuff that kind of comes from in-universe, again, like that Death Note book that, like, has all the rules for the Death Note. And I thought this scene was funny because the mom is like, did you two somehow do this? And they're like, no, it's not our fault. I swear, this is perfectly natural, right? And I love how everyone just like answers, you know, the phone. But I think what happened here is that everyone else got like anonymous calls that they answered, whereas like Marinette actually had Markov in the contacts because they all like know him, you know what I mean, right? And so I think that that's Tom actually, though. So Tom has Markov's contact for some reason, but I think everyone else sees it as an unknown caller, unless that's just like an animation error over here. Did I show it? Yeah, because like these phones, right, have no caller ID, but then like for Tom and Marinette's, but that again could be because they know Markov kind of like through Max, right? Like, even, like, all the students have, like, the teachers in their phone for some reason, and so I feel like they just all have each other's contact information, but yeah, that's just something that I noticed, right, is that they, like, may have Markov's number, and so they answered it, whereas everyone else is like, oh, I got a call from a random number, like, maybe I should pick this up. Then we see Alya's transformation here. I really like that she has, like, a headband. I like how her hair, sort of changed, and I also like how she has more, I don't want to say a skirt per se, but, like, on her bodysuit, she has, like, those like classic, like when a ladybug flaps its wings and everything, you have that sort of like curve, almost like a flower petal or something. So I thought that her outfit was pretty cool. You know, like nothing can replace obviously Marinette's outfit, but I thought that this was pretty good for Alya. And so then she calls herself the Bug, which, no, Trix does not think that that's any better, right? And so, see, Trix is, like, mad, though. She's just like, humph. Fine, right? Like, I guess I'll go in there because obviously that would be a big hint to Cat Noir. Imagine if Cat Noir had seen Trix and then in Rocketeer, like, basically found out that Alya was Rena Rouge. She would put, like, he would put, like, 4 and 4 together or 2 and 2 together, like, so fast. You know what I mean? Oh, that fake Ladybug, or not fake Ladybug, but the Ladybug replacement had Trix, which means she was Rena Rouge. According to Nino, Rena Rouge is Alya. According to Scarbella, she knows Ladybug personally. So Alya is Ladybug and knows Ladybug personally. I guess it's Marinette. You know what I mean? So it's probably good that she decided to hide Trix, because that would be a problem. And I love this. She tries to, like, copy Marinette's movements, but she immediately, like, gets kind of tired. I thought that was actually really funny. You know, and so then Cat Noir is just like, no, you're definitely not. Like, she's just like, you know, thinking of names, and Cat Noir is just like, obviously you're not Ladybug, sis, right? So she's like, oh, Cat Noir, have you been watching me for a long time? Like, she's, you know, just sort of like awkward, her knees turn in, she's kind of like nervous, right? But he's pissed, right? Because he thinks like, oh, well, the only logical explanation is that you're not real, you know, like that you are a super villain or you're a senti monster, right? And so I think that that's kind of interesting, because like Cat Noir this whole season has been like, Ladybug would never do that. Actually, she did. You know what I mean? Like, that has happened, I guess, like 3 or 4 times now, where he's been like, Ladybug would never do this. And then it's like, narrator, Ladybug did do this, right? It's like the scene with Nino that happens after this episode, where it's like, oh, like, Ladybug would never let you reveal your identities to each other and everything. Like, he told that to Nino, like, you can't be telling the truth. Like, how would she let you, like, reveal your identities to each other? You must be lying to me, Nino, right? And so, like, he had that sort of attitude, like, Ladybug would never. And then it's like, Ladybug did. I'm so sorry, sis. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I like how, like, this episode plays in to Rocketeer a lot, because again, Cat Noir is just like, well, you know, Ladybug would never do that. Ladybug did do that though, right? And so he's finding out again that he doesn't know Ladybug as well as he thought. And I think that the end of this episode did help a little bit, especially with his anger, because you have that scene like, I'll never abandon you, right? And he looked like he genuinely believed her. He looked into her eyes, right? But then at the end of Rocketeer, he's like sad, right? So I feel like that it was almost resolved, but then like another layer happened. And so we're still on the trajectory for Adrian to be upset, you know, and I think that'll definitely come back into play another time. Sorry for the subtitles here, guys. Like with this TV station, they have a lot of like things at the bottom a lot. So it's kind of hard to read. And yeah, she would have never done that without telling me. And now I'm just like, sir, you're finding out that she does a lot without telling you. But that's the conflict, right? And so I feel like that's pretty interesting. And so both of them use their powers on each other in this fight scene. If I were a real supervillain, I would take your Miraculous, but I'm not going to do that because I'm Bugella, right? And so again, that's like Pigella, but not, you know what I mean? And so she's basically just trying out everyone else's names, and then she comes up with her own. Like, that's kind of a nice little piece of symbolism, right? And why would she give you her Miraculous? Because she knows me, she trusts me, and she thought I would laugh at your jokes. And he's just like, oh, very funny, right? But he's more angry than amused at that, for sure. But yeah, then they recharge their Kwamis and everything, because they both use their powers on each other. And so then she basically settles on Scarabella. And so I think that what they're going for here is like Scarab, basically, you know what I mean? Like a beetle type thing, but like, I guess ladybugs are beetles, right? Like, that makes sense. I don't know. I really like their conversation, like, behind the wall here, because like, Adrian's pissed, bro. Like, and didn't even think of telling me. She must have not had time, right? But like, bro, she kind of did though. Well, no, I guess it's complicated, right? Because can Marinette text Cat Noir on her regular phone? Because she technically didn't have time. You know what I mean? Like, if it's the case that she can't text Cat Noir on her civilian phone and can only do that like through her Ladybug Miraculous. Like, technically, her mom was like, TikTok, right? She had to give the Miraculous to Alya and run back into the train. But if she can contact him on the civilian phone, she was making an itemized list for Alya. She could have called Cat Noir, you know? And so I think that that's kind of interesting, is it's like, okay, well, maybe Alya's right that she didn't have time. Like, actually, she didn't have time. She's not in the wrong. Or, like, the alternative interpretation is, well, she kind of did, sis. Like, you're telling me she couldn't send an anonymous email to, like, Cat Noir, like, at, I don't know, at superhero.com or something, you know what I mean? Like, she could have, maybe, I don't know. She could have let him know, and so maybe, like, I don't know if we're supposed to side with Marinette here. I'm leaning towards she genuinely didn't have time, but I think that's an interesting layer to, like, their communication issues. If she could have contacted him and she just, like, didn't think to, you know? As always, she has other cats to take care of, right? And I'm just like, bro, like, she's with her family, you know what I'm saying? But I understand why he feels that way, obviously, you know? And so I think that that's good. Like, Adrian angst is always good, right? And so I love this. And he's like, yeah, I know that it's robustus because I was there with the real Ladybug the first time, you know? And so she's just like, okay, well, you know, how did the real Ladybug save you then? You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's sort of backhanded in a way. Like, oh, well, clearly the real, like, how did the real Ladybug save your ass? Because you probably didn't save the day, Cat Noir. Like, that's the sort of vibe that I'm getting from this. And I think that what's interesting is that in Rocketeer, do we not see Alya having more appreciation for Cat Noir? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she has this whole thing, and this is why Nino is suspicious. She's like, you know, like, Ladybug, like, everyone talks about Ladybug, but not a lot of people talk about Cat Noir. Like, what if, like, this is, like, the pivotal moment? Because she seems genuinely like she's throwing some shade at him in this scene. So what if, like, after this point, she sort of felt differently about Cat Noir, and she was sort of like, oh, yeah, you know what? Like, after working with him, I had some wrong assumptions about him. And so it's interesting that this episode precedes, again, Rocketeer for that reason. It's because she genuinely seems to kind of dislike him and find him annoying in this scene, or at least is frustrated with him, right? And again, I love Adrian's little angry eyebrows that we always get, you know what I'm saying? But I find that interesting because then after they sort of work together and they learn how to, like, work together and have friendship and camaraderie and all that stuff in this episode, right? Like, Alya then goes on to be like, yeah, Cat Noir's awesome, right? And so I kind of like that. Like, I like that she recognized, like, that Cat Noir is like, you know, he's actually pretty cool. And that carries into next episode. So I don't understand what this line was about because, like, you know, they talk about, like, oh, you know, Robustus is ordering people to give them their most favorite thing to be able to get. And so he talks about his croquets. And so I'm like, wait, what? Like, that's the most precious thing to you, Adrian, is your croquets? Is this food or cheese? I feel like this is croquets like the mallet. And I'm just like, what? You know what I mean? Was he just, like, being angry or something? Like, you know what I mean? Was he just like, no, I won't let him take my favorite croquet? Like, was he just joking? Because I'm like, you don't have anything more precious to you, like the photos of you and your mom together or something? You know what I mean? It's a croquet stick, right? But, like, what if Alya is like, oh, like, that means Adrian has a little money, right? Like, we're closing in on the identity of Cat Noir because Alya is just like, croquet sticks, croquets for rich people, bro. I don't know, that could have been something else. It could have been cheese, too. Like, he could have been talking about cheese. But I don't know. I may be not reading things correctly. But anyway, Marinette gets added to the database here. Into the computer. Then we have Alya getting tricked by a very obvious trap. But I kind of like that, like, Alya made mistakes in this episode and then she, like, learned from them and then also, like, learned to value Cat Noir as a partner, right? Like, the real Ladybug would have suspected that, oh, you really think so? I just think you're a coward, right? Like, you know what I mean? I just think you don't want to run into danger, right? She had all these wrong assumptions about Cat Noir, and then by the end of this episode, she realizes, like, oh yeah, you were right, I'm sorry, you know, actually, Cat Noir is pretty cool, so I actually like that for them. I think that that's, you know, really nice. Like, I like how, you know, Alya was wrong, she had a lot of wrong assumptions about Cat Noir, she accepted she was wrong, and she learned to, like, really value him as a partner and everything, and I thought that this was so smart, like, the, people pretending to be statues, but they really weren't. That was great. And so this is an interesting conversation as well, because it's like, do you and Ladybug know each other? Are you friends? And she's just like, oh no, we're not friends. No need to exaggerate. Like, wait, you know her secret identity, right? And so I don't know exactly how he came to that conclusion, because I feel like nothing in her statement like alluded to that, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? And so I feel like that she must have said something else like in the original script, or maybe I'm misunderstanding something, because the way this conversation goes is like, oh, do you and Ladybug know each other? Are you friends? And she's like, friends, Ladybug and I? No need to exaggerate like their relationship. Wait, you know her secret identity? Like, how? Like, bro, like, you know what I mean? How did he get to that conclusion? There's nothing that says that at all. And so I feel like that in English, it must be something else. Like, he must be like, hey, like, do you know Ladybug? Are you two friends? And she's like, oh no, we're not friends. We know each other. We're acquaintances, really, like something like that. Even like she could even say, well, I guess she wouldn't say classmates, because that would be like way too much info, especially considering what Cat Noir hears in Rocketeer could lead him to narrowing things in, even if he doesn't know that Alya is also Scarbella, right? But basically, like, I wonder if she says something in like the dub that makes more sense in that context, right? Like, oh yeah, we're just classmates, like we're not even friends, we just know each other, we go to the same school or something, right? And imagine something like that, and then he's like, wait, you know her secret identity? You go to the same school? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that it must be something more along those lines, just because like this progression didn't make that much sense. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll make more sense another time. But anyway. And so then she says, I'm sorry, but I can't tell you anything. You'll have to ask her that, right? So Alya is encouraging Cat Noir to basically like ask Ladybug about it when she comes back, and like have an honest communication conversation type thing, right? And so yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting in terms of a scene, right? Because he's like narrowing in, like Cat Noir is narrowing in on the case, you know? And so I do think that maybe he will find out before Marinette does, like that he will know that Marinette is Ladybug before Ladybug knows that Adrian's Cat Noir, despite my initial theories. I thought Justice Spots was really funny, but again, that could be a Princess Justice reference in a roundabout way. But anyway, we just have this scene where they all get surrounded by the mannequin, not mannequin. I already explained that I really liked that. And I like what Hawkmoth says here, actually. Wait, it's a newbie. This is my chance, right? You know? Like, this is the perfect time. I arrived on the perfect day, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. And so she's like, oh, like, this name isn't it. Like, I need something better. This isn't the best time for this. All right, right? But, like, she does need that name because she needs to find her own identity and believe in herself, right? And so she looks around and she can't figure out how to use it. And it's like, oh, you're right. I'm not Ladybug, right? And so that's like the whole thing of her trying to find a name for herself, and Cat Noir being like, is it really the time for that, sis? And so she's like, you're right, it's not the time because I'm not really Ladybug anyway. But then Cat Noir's like, no, that's not what I meant. You're not Ladybug, but you're Scarbella. And now that you have a super name, you just need to get yourself back together, right? It's like you're not Ladybug, but no one's expecting you to be Ladybug. They're just like, they just need, like, your superhero, like, the best that you can be, not trying to be Ladybug, just trying to be your best superhero self, right? I think that that's what Cat Noir is saying, and I really like that. And I also like this, like, I like this face of encouragement. He's like, the funniest, the one, the spectacular Cat Noir, but, like, you know, all he gets is funniest, right? He's not, like, the funniest, the, like, you know, the handsomest, right? Like, I could see that being more syllables again in English. That just may be this particular translation, because usually it's rule of 3, right? Like, all the other times Alya has done it, it's been 3 traits, whereas all he got was funny and spectacular. Like, the one, the only spectacular, funny Cat Noir, I feel like he probably adds some other things. But I thought this was so smart, because she basically, like, has this whole fake out plan for Cat Noir to destroy her Miraculous in order for Hawkmoth to fail and not get what he wants, right? And so, like, you know, look at the look on his face. He's just like, what? Because at first I didn't understand what was happening, but now I get it. So it's basically like threatening. And I thought that this was so smart, right? Because she's basically threatening, like, hey, he will cataclysm my Miraculous and then you won't get anything, right? And so I thought that was great. And so instead, like, Alya uses that to bargain. She's like, if, you know, I could destroy my Miraculous and then you won't get what you want, but if you release all these people, you can have it, right? Because, you know, the priority that they have as superheroes is to save people. At least that is, like, the front that Alya puts in this scene, right? Like, oh, you're trying to negotiate with me? Exactly. We will surrender if you set all the objects and people you captured free, right? And so that's the mentality, right? Because you think it would end at this bluff. Like, hey, Hawkmoth, like, you know, stop that or I will akumatize, right? I will akumatize the earrings and you won't get anything, right? But, right, she is basically trying to find a way to still defeat the villain. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I mean? She could have just said, Hawkmoth, like, go home or else we'll cataclysm my earrings, right? But then she could just do that every time, right? Like, Ladybug could just do that every single time. Like, what's stopping them from doing that on the regular, right? So then the key thing here is like, hey, like, if you release everyone, right, like, that means that I succeeded as a superhero and, you know, she won't be mad at me. And so you can have our Miraculouses if you release everyone, right? Like, that's sort of the, you know, the bluff, if that makes sense. So I found that scene pretty interesting. I found it pretty smart on Alya, but I think that they kind of made a roundabout way to, like, make this fake surrender plan. Because isn't the bluff enough? Like, hey, Hawkmoth, like, you know, like, retract the Akuma and the Amok or else we'll, like, shatter the Miraculous anyway. You know what I mean? Like, she could have just done that and then he could have just went home, in theory. But I guess then, like, the next time that Hawkmoth attacks Paris, nobody would be there to protect it. So that's, like, the internal logic of the show. I can understand that, actually. I think that that's actually a good explanation for all of this, right? Is that Hawkmoth could always say, like, okay, well, even if you get me to retract everything right now, if you break your Miraculous next time I attack, you won't be able to defend Paris and these innocent people. And so that's why the innocent people are the priority. And Ladybug can't just be like, oh, I'll cataclysm my earrings, Hawkmoth, go away. Because eventually he'd know that it was just a bluff. And if it wasn't a bluff, that means that no one would be able to protect Paris next time anyway. So yeah. Then she basically puts in the lucky charm so Marinette can use it, and Hawkmoth says to accept the offer, which I think this was really, really cool to see Marinette, like, she knows what to do. She gets up and see, okay, so Nathaniel, like, he's in the corner, yeah, but I feel like that maybe you could have it so we saw something, you know what I mean? Because, like, he's the only witness to this, right? It's, I feel like that he could have seen this for sure. Like, he could have just been, like, you know, getting his bearings, looked up, saw Marinette, went, oh shit, and then, like, looked away. You know what I mean? Just pretended, I pretend I do not see it, right? And so I feel like that that's, you know, a possibility for sure, is that Nathaniel actually saw something later. And I do like the differences here, like that, you know, Scarbella closes her eyes, whereas Cat Noir keeps them open. I don't know what that means exactly in terms of symbolism, but it's more like, you know, Scarbella has trust in Marinette and trust in the plan, whereas Cat Noir, like, his eyes are wide because he's like, oh, I hope you know what you're doing, sis, you know? And so, yeah, and I love this. I love how Marinette just smacks him with the frying pan, like, a la Rapunzel from Tangled. Like, you know what I mean? And I love that. And, like, Hawkmoth's just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck just happened, right? Imagine if Hawkmoth thinks Nathaniel is Ladybug. Imagine, just because after all of this, it's like, you know, like, there was only one other person, Marinette Dupan Chang. No, Nathaniel. You know what I mean? Like, if he reflects on this situation and all, that's so funny. But yeah, and then Cat Noir has a very convenient pot over his head. But see, like, Nathaniel's eyes aren't covered. He's just sitting there on the floor. He could have definitely seen something, you know what I mean? Right? And so I feel like that's kind of the difference between, like, Cat Noir in this scene and then Nathaniel. Nathaniel still has visibility. But yeah, I do think that pot over Cat Noir's head was pretty convenient, pretty contrived, so he didn't see that Marinette was present and everything like that. But anyway, they're like, oh, you know, like, where did you come from? I don't know what happened, but, like, it's fine, I guess, right? I think that he says something like that, or at least maybe he did before. He was just like, I have no idea how you did that, Alya, or I guess Scarbella, right? And so then Markov's like, huh, you're not the usual holder of the Ladybug Miraculous. No, but you had the pleasure, the luck of being saved by the one and only only amazing Scarbella in person. I still don't get how you did that, right? Because Cat Noir's just like, I have no idea what's going on, but okay, right? That's basically his mentality. And so I like their little pound it and their newfound understanding for each other. That was great. I think that was really cool. And I think what was interesting about this is that Natalie sees that the plan didn't work again, and she seems like visibly frustrated and upset. So I feel like Natalie is going to get better and then like wreak havoc, you know what I mean? Like in the future for sure. Like when she gets better, she's going to be like, you know, Hawkmoth, like all your plans have been shit. It's my turn, you know? Like I feel like that there may be something like that. Because the finale, I think people said, was called The End of Shadowmoth. And so I feel like it could be the end of Shadowmoth because Natalie takes her place again as Mayura. That could be the idea. Instead of like actually defeating Hawkmoth, they either recover the Peacock Pin, which I find unlikely, or it's the end of Shadowmoth because Mayura rises up again, right? And so, yeah, Marinette basically talks to Alya about her trip, but then Alya's like, you better go talk to Cat Noir. Kind of important, sis. And I love this scene. Like, I thought that this was stunning, beautiful. Like, look at the sunset. It's so pretty. And so she's like, oh, you must have been surprised finding another ladybug holder on this day, you know? I'm sorry, Cat Noir. I should have let you know it's true, right? And so I think that that's good, though, that she's able to, like, admit, you know, her mistakes and that she should have told him, right? If I knew you had revealed your secret identity to someone, I would be sad, right? So that's interesting, right? And so she thinks that that's what it's about, right? And she also admits, like, if Cat Noir told anyone, she would be sad. And so she should have given him the decency to let him know that she revealed her identity to someone, right? So now Cat Noir knows that she revealed her secret identity to another person, right? But he also knows that Ladybug would be sad if he did it without her, like, without him letting her know. And so I wonder if that'll come back up in the future, where Cat Noir is like, well, screw it, Ladybug did it, so I'll go tell Marinette. I don't need her permission. Or she asks, or I should say he asks Ladybug's permission to tell Marinette. That would kind of be funny. That would be so fucking funny. Oh my god. Imagine it. Okay, because like here's what I'm basically thinking, right? Like in this like you know, weird scenario in a way. It's like, you know, there's two key things here. If I knew you had revealed your secret identity to someone, I would be sad. Like if you like weren't honest with me about wanting to do it, I should have told you that I was going to do it. Like there's that aspect of it. But like what is like the actual like underlying thing here? Wouldn't it be the same for him? You know what I mean? And so I don't know, like I feel like that this could mean two things for Cat Noir. Ladybug revealed her identity to someone once and didn't ask me if it was okay first, so I will do whatever I want and I will tell someone with reckless abandon, like in the future when he's like really upset with her. Maybe he'll go tell like Marinette or someone else. Or the alternative is, I know that Ladybug said if I told someone my secret identity without letting her know, right, without like talking about it as partners, that, you know what I mean, like that, she thought that I would be sad, and so that means that she would also be sad if I did it without talking to her first. So I'm going to talk to her and tell her that I would like to tell Marinette that I am Cat Noir, and she'd be like, what? Right? And so I feel like that could be a really good scene too. I'm so sorry. That must have been so confusing. TLDR, right? What if Adrian either does one or two things? He's like, well, you know, Ladybug never consulted me when she told Scarbella her secret identity, so I'm just gonna go do it. Or he does consult Ladybug when he's like, hey, Ladybug, you know, I really want to tell this girl at my school, Marinette, that I'm Cat Noir because I want to be in a relationship with her, and then that's how the reveal happens. Oops, or at least the one-sided reveal that I keep mentioning, right? And so then he says, you did what you had to do. Paris needs a superhero all the time. So it isn't really about, like, you know, telling someone the secret identity for him. That's not why he's sad. He's sad because I just realized that if someday it isn't you anymore, milady, because we don't know our secret identities, I would never see you again. And I think that's interesting because is that really the case? Like, say that Ladybug did, like, you know, stop being Ladybug, and she gave her miraculous to Scarbella. Couldn't she just be like, if Cat Noir kept being Cat Noir, couldn't she just be like, yo, Cat Noir down here, and like tell him? She could seek him out as Cat Noir, but I understand what he means. Like if they were to both stop being superheroes, they would never see each other again. But like, I guess what Cat Noir is trying to say is like, you know, if you didn't seek me out, right? And I don't know your identity. I couldn't seek you out and I would never see you again. So it would be on you to seek me out, right? In the situation where, say it's Scarbella and Cat Noir, right? Cat Noir would be like, well, you know, I would never see you again because I wouldn't be able to seek you out, right? I feel like that what Ladybug's trying to say is I'll never abandon you. I would seek you out in this situation. Does that make any sense, guys? I don't know. I don't know how to better explain that, but I think that basically, like, the key thing is here is that she is trying to tell Cat Noir that he is not the only one who initiates their friendship. If something happened where she wasn't Ladybug anymore, she would seek him out. Because I feel like that's what he's worried about, is that they are only together at the moment. They're only friends. Let's just call them friends, right? They are only friends because they are partners. And if she wasn't Ladybug anymore, she would have no desire to seek out Cat Noir and be like, yo, I am Marinette. Like, let's hang out, you know? Like, after, even if she doesn't take up the mantle as Ladybug anymore. But what she's saying is, I will never abandon you. Whether I'm Ladybug or not, I will seek you out somehow, right? And so I feel like that that's almost the idea. I think that that's a fair, you know, a fair thing to say. And I really like this, that she's like, Kitty, I will never abandon you, right? And so it's not only that she won't abandon him in the case of like, well, I'm not gonna stop being Ladybug soon. So, you know, like that's not happening anytime soon, right? Like that could be the idea, is that I'm not gonna stop being Ladybug anytime soon, so don't worry. But it could also be the idea of you are not the only one who initiates our friendship, right? Like, I also care about you and I will find you even if I'm not Ladybug anymore, right? Like, I will find a way back to you somehow. Like, I think that that's almost the underlying subtext, and I feel like that's pretty interesting. And I really like this. I like the sort of end card that they had, Trix with her arms crossed, very angry. Cat Noir, obviously, Markov, Hawkmoth, and then Marinette in that pink outline that's a little bit cut off right there. But yeah, that's basically it from me, everyone. Thank you for attending Calxiyn's Corner today. Make sure you leave a comment on anything that we have discussed. I hope that you, again, enjoyed this little analysis. Let me know what you think of this episode, all of that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!